Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is mostly all about Huda Beauty's makeup. I used her new 3D highlighting palettes, her eyeshadow palettes, her lashes and her liquid lipsticks. This is the first time I'm trying the floating eyeliner look. It could have been much more floaty, but I'll keep that in mind for next time. So to start off with, I'm going in with Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden, and this is a perfect colour to hide any discoloration on your eyelid. And then I'm setting that with the shade Bay from the Huda Beauty palette. This shade might be too yellow for some of you depending on your skin tone, but it seems to work for me. Then as a transition shade, I'm going in with the shade Shy, and I'm taking that on my Zoeva 228 brush, just blending that into the crease, making sure that I don't avoid the inner corner. To add more colour, I'm going in with the shade Flamingo on the same brush, and I'm blending that into the crease so that I can get a perfect transition between the two shades, and I'll gradually keep building this up until I'm happy with how vibrant it is. So I hadn't really planned this, but I tried to go in with the shade Maneater on a Sigma E25 brush and blend that into the crease just to make it look more vibrant. I did have a really hard time blending this out. I think I underestimated how pigmented this eyeshadow is, and it was just a difficult eyeshadow to blend out. So I went in between two different brushes. Eventually I ended up just swapping a brush to my Sigma E45 brush, which is a lot more fluffy, and that really did help blend the eyeshadow out. When doing a cut crease like this, it's really important to deepen up the colour of the crease so that you can clearly see the detail against the lid shade for it to stand out. So to add depth, I'm gradually building up the shade Cocoa into the crease, and at this point it doesn't matter whether you get the eyeshadows onto the lid, it's more important that you get the depth right there in the crease. Of course, I mess up my eyeshadow, but I'll show you how to fix that later. To cut my crease, I'm going in with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden. However, this was quite dry on the lid, and that is why it's leaving those like crinkly lines. So to get more of a crisp cut crease, I went in with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea concealer in light. This has much more of a watery consistency, so it was perfect to carve out my crease. I tilt my head back to stretch the skin on my eyelid so that I can get much more of a crisp application, and the brush I'm using is actually a paintbrush. Yeah. To fix the silly eyeshadow mistake I made, I'm just going in with a tapered eyeshadow brush and just going over that. Then for the lid, I'm taking the shade Angelic and applying that using a flat synthetic brush. To add an extra pop onto the eyelid, I'm going in with the Pink Sands edition of the 3D highlighter palette, and I'm just pressing in the shade Ibiza onto the center of the lid. And just to add an extra pop, I went in with the shade Santorini and pressed that onto the center as well. To carve out my winged eyeliner, I went in with this flat synthetic brush and my ABH concealer in the shade 1.0, and I tried to do this freehand. I'd seen people do this with tape, but I wanted to do this freehand because I wanted to seem really cool, but I did really struggle with this. I should have just used the tape, and I guess I don't look cool anymore. So to set that concealer, I went in with the shade Bay from the palette, and I went in with first a small eyeliner brush just to get right next to the winged line, and then I went in with a bigger fluffy brush. To deepen up the crease even further, I felt like I needed some more deepening up. I went in with the shade Cocoa on this winged eyeliner brush, and I'm just kind of like pushing and blending this upwards. I then went in with the Urban Decay Razor Sharp eyeliner in the shade Fireball. You all know how much I love this eyeliner. And then because I like to be really extra, I also went in with the Urban Decay Glitter eyeliner in the shade Midnight Cowboy and just winged that out directly underneath the other eyeliner. I went in with a couple of coats of this just to make it more opaque. To clean up the edge of the concealer, I went in with a Clean and Clear wipe and just wiped that away. I then went in with my Farsali Rose Gold Elixir and dropped that into the shade Rose Gold. This makes applying the textured eyeshadows on with a brush so much easier. It actually picks up on the brush and sticks. Moving on to the face, I'm priming using the Professional by Benefit, and then I'm colour correcting using the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Concealer Palette. First going in with a green shade to counteract any of the redness I have on my face. And then I get a lot of grey and dull areas on my face as well where I have scarring, so I go in with the more orangey shade directly underneath my eye, on my nose on any scars I have, and around the corner of my nose. I'm then going in with the Real Techniques mini sponge, and I'm just blending that out. Bear in mind, when you are colour correcting, don't refer back to the Instagram videos where people just slap on a bunch of colour corrector. You are trying to camouflage the discoloration on your face, not add much more pigmentation. So for foundation, I'm going in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation in the shade 4.0, and to add some glow, I'm going in with the Cover FX Enhancer drops in the shade Sunlight, blending that together and applying that onto my face. I find that dotting my foundation onto the areas of my face provide a much better application as opposed to picking it up on the brush or putting your foundation straight on the brush and then applying it onto the skin. It helps provide much more of an even coverage around the face and also avoid cakiness. To apply this onto my face, I'm using the Unicorn foundation brush, which came in the Unicorn brush set from Unicorn Lashes. Wow, Unicorn, Unicorn, Unicorn. To cream contour my face, I'm going in with the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit in the shade Medium. I'm taking the shade Chocolate and carving out my temples, my cheekbones and my jawline, and I'm just blending that in with a beauty blender. The reason I cream contour before doing the concealer under my eyes is because I have not powdered my face yet, and when I do go into powder my face, the under eye concealer would have creased by then. Oh, and I also contoured my nose. So to conceal and highlight, I'm going in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light, and I'm just taking this underneath my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, on the center of my forehead and on my cupid's bow, and I'm blending that in using my Real Techniques beauty sponge, the small one, because it's so perfect to fit in the crevices of your face. I am such a brush girl. I don't like using sponges because the effort you have to make to go and wet it, and then the fact that your fingers get messy because of the way that you hold it. I just don't like it, but I have noticed the biggest difference using it underneath my eyes. It makes your concealer application so much better. I did bake underneath my eyes and on the bridge of my nose. I powdered the rest of my face. For the under eyes, I'm going in with every colour that I went in with in the crease. For the waterline, I'm going in with the Rimmel eyeliner in the shade Nude. I'm curling my lashes using my Tweezerman lash curlers, which are amazing because my lashes are so stubborn they do not curl. For mascara, I'm using the L'Oreal Paris False Lash Sculpt Mascara. This is absolutely perfect, especially for the lower lashes. It has the perfect wand. For bronzer, I'm going in with the MAC Give Me Sun on a big fluffy brush, and I'm just adding colour to the perimeters of my face. Next, to sculpt my cheekbones, I'm going in with the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit, and I'm applying that using my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour brush. For those of you looking for a new contour brush, this is a really good brush. I highly recommend it. It's just the perfect size to fit right into the cheekbone area. I'm then dusting away any of the powder left on my under eye area, and I'm going in again with the same Hoola Bronzer to contour out my nose. Now for the exciting bit, I've got the Huda Beauty 3D highlighter palette, and for the cheeks, the first shade I'm going in with is called Zanzibar, and I wasn't sure if I was meant to use this as a blush topper or as an actual blush, but I went in with it just as a blush and it looked absolutely beautiful. For the highlight, I'm first going in with the cream Fiji, and I'm applying that using the Anastasia highlighting brush. What was amazing about this was that it could be applied with a brush, and also it didn't disturb any of the powder underneath. It's a cream, and usually putting a cream on top of a powder will ruin it, but this went on so perfectly and it was so soft. On top of that, I went in with the shade Seychelles and applied that also onto the brow bone and in the inner corner. This is honestly one of the most beautiful highlighters I have ever seen. I was getting pretty tired of gold highlights, but this really made it for me. I then really wanted to try the shade Santorini, so I applied that on top of both of those other highlighting shades, and then I pressed that in using my beauty sponge. I went back in with my blush brush and just blending those two together. They blended absolutely beautifully. The Huda Beauty lashes I'm using are in the style Farrah, and I'm applying that using my House of Lashes lash adhesive, which is also latex free for those of you who react to latex. I then also went in with some cluster eyelashes for the lower lash line, just to add a little bit of extra volume to even out the top and the bottom lashes. If anybody has any advice on how not to get makeup all over your hair, please let me know. That would be much appreciated. I also did some swatches of some of the liquid lipsticks, and honestly they have some of the best formulas I have ever tried. No highlighting video is complete until you've seen what they look like glowing in the dark. Honestly, these feel amazing on the skin. I love these so much. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do have any suggestions, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Find me on Instagram at Makeup by AJ. I'm running out of breath, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!